Good afternoon. My name is Tina Glandian. I'm an attorney from the United States, and I'm representing Andrew Tate and Tristan Tate alongside their Romanian legal defense team.
So she's asking regarding the two victims that were declared by the prosecutors as victims in the files, but they are not. They have appeared on the media supporting the Tates and saying that they aren't actually victims. The question is, how did they end up as victims in the investigation?
That's a great question.
Bună întrebare. Și noi ne întrebăm.
That's my response. It's a great question. If they've come forward and publicly said they're not victims, then it makes you ask yourself, why have they been listed as victims? And what's the state of mind of the other alleged victims?
Why don't you trust the Romanian
Atenție, atenție. Pardon, mă scuzați, ne scuzați, ne scuzați. Read it.
Someone that wants to hurt you?
Ne scuzați, ne scuzați. Read it.
Someone that wants to hurt you? Someone that wants to hurt you? Someone that wants to hurt you?
Mai sus că eu cred că nu o să poată. Știu.
Luana, este adevărat că ai intervenit, ai pus presiune.
Doamna Ioana! Cum este să fiți?
De ce?
Why did you think the measures taken by the judge?
They don't show evidence because it doesn't
Why
exist.
did you say that?
They don't show evidence because it doesn't exist. They don't show evidence because it doesn't exist.
There's a presumption of innocence that every accused has, and that attaches from the time you're even charged. And here, we're not even there. They haven't even charged them with crimes. So any sort of comments as to their alleged dangerousness, there's no evidence of that. There isn't even a presumption of that. They need to be presumed innocent, and that hasn't happened in this case. There's really a lack of evidence, and they are being detained unlawfully at this point. We were in court yesterday morning. The proceedings are in Romanian. However, there was an interpreter present that was interpreting for my clients. The defense put on extensive arguments. They argued for close to 2 hours about the weakness of the prosecution's case, the lack of evidence. It's a closed hearing, so I can't actually get into the specifics of what was argued in that proceeding, but they made extensive legal arguments. At the end of the hearing, there was no conclusion. We were told that we will have an order later in the day. And then several hours later, we heard that unfortunately the court had denied the appeal and the brothers will continue to be detained until February 27th.
And my understanding is that at this point, they have not been formally charged with anything. Is that correct?
That's correct. I think it's unjust. I think at this point, they've been in custody for over 30 days in unsanitary, inhumane conditions in a Romanian jail cell. They are U.S. citizens, and to me, it's fundamentally unfair. I think it flies in the face of international human rights law that they are not being released. This is the harshest form of punishment a government can impose, and all of this is before charges have been filed. So I went to the jail myself. I was hoping to meet the brothers in custody, see it for myself firsthand, and talk to them about their experiences. Unfortunately, I was denied access to them in jail, and to be clear, I went there with my Romanian defense team, and we had the proper paperwork. We had my credentials showing I'm a U.S. attorney and everything else, and I was denied access, which again, I think is a huge issue. They are U.S. citizens. They have a need to discuss certain matters with their U.S. counsel, things that their Romanian counsel can't advise them on. And, again, they've been detained for over 30 days. They have no access to their attorneys even at this point, the US attorneys. And so that was very disappointing. So unfortunately, I didn't get to see the conditions as I had hoped in person, but from what I understand, again, it's not a humane situation they're in. And one of the four, in this investigation, they're the Tate brothers and two women that were all detained as part of the same investigation. And one of those women was hospitalized yesterday. I can't really go into detail about that, but we're deeply concerned about them being held inside. Again, you hear horror stories sometimes of things that happen while people are in pretrial detention, people who oftentimes are then cleared and released or should be released. And, sometimes they don't even make it out. So we're deeply concerned.